What would you do if you were attacked by a rabies-infected bear? How would you defend yourself? Sadly for Mukesh and Gudiya Rai, they didn't have a chance to fight back when they encountered a sloth bear infected with rabies on their way to a temple in Madhya Pradesh, India. In a horrific turn of events, the couple was eaten alive by the bear. In this video, we'll explore the details of this tragic incident and shed light on the dangers of rabies-infected animals. Stay tuned for a story that will shock and horrify you. This is Mukesh Rai and his wife's horrifying sloth bear attack. Mukesh Rai, 43, and his wife, Gudiya Rai, 39, had traveled to the Khermai Temple in the Madhya Pradesh state of central India early on June 5, 2022, to offer prayers. The region is well renowned for its diverse landscape, which features river basins, tiny peaks, and dense woods. The vast majority of this Indian state is covered in trees, and it is home to a variety of flora and wildlife that are unique to the entire nation. Bison, wild boars, porcupine foxes, and the iconic Indian sloth bear live in the jungles. One of 8 bear species, the sloth bear is indigenous to the Indian subcontinent. The animal is a dangerous predator that weighs about 300 pounds, is over 6 feet long, and stands out for having unusually enormous claws. It is similar in size to an American black bear. These claws, which can grow to be longer than 5 inches relative to the animal's size, are a natural adaptation used to dig up termite mounds and other insects. In the event of an assault, they are a powerful weapon that allows the bear to rip through skin and crack apart its prey's body with a single, deep scratch. The sloth bear's reputation as one of the world's most violent animals towards humans is unsettling. They view people as little more than weak, slow prey. They could create a simple supper. Around 6 in the morning on that tragic day, Mukesh and Gudiya made their decision to take a walk a few kilometers from their home and travel to the Khermai Temple nearby to pray. The pair decided that since it would take them a few minutes to go there from the temple, they should take this opportunity to spend some time together. They were blissfully ignorant of the dangers of going through those dense forests alone in the early hours of the day, yet the route they intended to follow passed through the Panna National Park's extensive forests. Although sloth bears are nocturnal creatures that spend the majority of the day hiding and sleeping in the jungle, it was still considered dangerous to walk through the forest at the break of dawn, when the bears were probably still awake at 6:30 when Mukesh and Gudiya made their way back from the temple. The town had not yet woken up, and the area was largely deserted. As they began to walk towards their house, bears were the furthest thing from their minds. The duo moved between branches and down trees as they strolled through the forests. For the crowded and bustling central Indian city, the area was rather quiet. They could hear some bustle in the underbrush about a half-mile from their home. When Mukesh turned to glance around, he discounted the sound as being made by a park gardener or farmer. They were less than 2 kilometers from their house when Mukesh heard a frightful growl coming from his left. When he turned to look, he saw a large ball of black fur leaping toward his wife, Gudiya. The quiet environment quickly changed into a nightmare as his wife cried and begged for assistance. The bear had suddenly pounced at her, aiming for her neck and digging its razor-sharp claws deep into it. She fell to the ground after being crushed by the bear's enormous weight. Mukesh screamed to the top of his lungs in an effort to scare the beast away as blood spurted out of her neck. The bear behaved strangely, not like a predator on the prowl would. Acting almost possessed and maliciously, it attempted to itch Gudiya's face and torso, caused as much discomfort as it could. For a brief moment, Mukesh was paralyzed by horror as he watched a terrible woodland predator eat his wife. The bear was snarling at Gudiya and biting off pieces of flesh as it battered and devoured her. The bear refused to let go as bite marks and claw scratches began to cover Gudiya's body. Mukesh searched the area for large boulders and was able to toss them at a bear from a distance. She was rapidly losing consciousness as she lay there in a pool of blood on the woodland floor. Mukesh screamed and begged for aid, but it appeared like no one was listening to him. He understood that he had to save his wife from certain death as no aid was on the way. From behind, he leapt at the bear and attempted to tackle and punch it. The bear was briefly knocked off balance. Mukesh noticed the opportunity to drag his wife to safety and moved her blood-stained body by the hand away from the bear by backing up a few feet. The break, however, was only temporary. Similar to how it attacked Gudiya, the beast ran towards him and leapt at him. It immediately aimed for the neck in an effort to quickly put an end to his life. It paralyzed Mukesh by digging its razor-sharp claws deeply into his fragile neck, inflicting spinal cord and nerve damage. Now that Gudiya was unconscious and Mukesh was paralyzed and powerless, the bear's cruel circle of their perishing bodies had sealed their doom. Local villagers arrived at the scene of the screaming after hearing the disturbance for a while. What they saw there was a horrifying scene. The bear held on to the couple's bodies and wouldn't let go. It had pulled them to a nearby pool of water, where it had attacked their bodies with nibbles and chews. Removing sections of flesh, the villagers threw rocks at the bear in an effort to gradually scare it away so that they may salvage something from their lifeless bodies. Gunmen had to be called to the site to shoot the bear dead because it would not move. The bear behaved erratically, yanking their arms, sniffing their bodies, and moving frantically and nervously. The officials and onlookers attempted to frighten the bear away without killing it so they could observe its peculiar behavior. The animal was finally tranquilized and taken to a neighboring veterinary research facility for analysis after enduring the harrowing experience for 5 hours. Later, it was discovered that the bear was suffering from the last stages of rabies and that it had attacked out of uncertainty and annoyance. It probably did not kill the pair to devour them, since it was in discomfort from the sickness. The bear died from rabies after only a few hours in captivity, but when the park rangers heard about it, they were told to close the park immediately and call everyone who was employed there. The town was gripped by fear that the disease might spread, necessitating the testing of hundreds of additional animals to ensure that no other animals had contracted rabies. Officials reported that as deforestation increased, bears were compelled to go closer to populated areas in search of food. Due to the close proximity of bear and human populations, a lack of adequate regulation, and a lack of safety precautions, the central Indian state reports some of the highest rates of bear attacks worldwide. The incident was also related to the season, since the Mehoa tree flowers in June, when bears come to feed on the trees and people tried to pick the fruit for profit. The couple and the sloth bear came dangerously near as a result of a series of unlucky incidents, which were made worse by the illness the bear was carrying. The grisly nature of the attack increased local human communities' terror of the bears as word of the death traveled throughout the nation. Since 2015, there have been more than 50 sloth bear assaults in the state, with numerous victims displaying broken limbs, scratches, and bite marks. The Indian government provided the couple's family with compensation in the amount of 400,000 Indian rupees, or around $5,000. Yet the deceased's friends and family were crushed by the news of their loss. Their faces and bodies had been mangled beyond recognition, making it impossible to identify their bodies until later the following day. This is how a routine morning stroll for Mukesh and Gudiya quickly turned into a horrifying ordeal, as they were torn apart by a powerful forest predator while trying to save each other, bringing them both to their terrifying end. Thank you for watching this harrowing tale of Mukesh and Gudiya Rai as their encounter with a rabies-infected bear. It's a grim reminder of the dangers that can lurk in the natural world and the importance of being aware of our surroundings when we venture into the wilderness. If you found this video informative or thought-provoking, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button below to stay tuned for more videos like this. And remember, while encounters with wildlife can be thrilling, they can also be perilous. So it's always essential to stay vigilant and take appropriate precautions to protect ourselves and those around us. Thank you for being a part of our community, and we'll see you in our next video.